YouTube! What's going on? It's me, back again, Joe, for Synth Pop Review. This time, joined by Jordan.
What's up?
And we're here at the shop at Ash and Ember. As some of you know, I opened a tobacco shop, an all-around geek-centric shop, 6 months ago. It's been a really long time since I made a video. I'm super sorry, but when you have your own business, you're just really, really busy. Anyway, I'm back, and it's exciting. And I thought, what better time to come back? We got a new Erasure CD out, a new Erasure release. So we've got the Violet Flame. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I'm an Erasure super fan. You don't really give a shit about any synth pop music, but it's good that you're here.
Yeah, but it's not that I am actively against it. I just never listened to it before, but I really dug this.
Yeah.
I really think it's awesome.
And you're getting more into, since you're working with me, you're listening to Duran. That's something that you probably never even thought about listening to before.
And Pet Shop Boys.
And Pet Shop Boys, so. And I'm listening to the Beatles and music like that. What is it?
More of the Doors.
The Doors
the
and stuff that I'm not probably going to listen to. That's kind of nice to have that change up there. But anyway, the Violet Flame. Let's get into it. I'm super stoked for this release. Anything new from Erasure, I'm going to be excited about. The last thing that we got from Vince and Andy was the Christmas album last year, and I thought that was wonderful. And the song "Make It Wonderful," I thought it's definitely on my top 10 of all time of Erasure songs. I was curious though. I didn't really listen to a lot of previews of this album before. I didn't listen to any sample tracks online because I wanted to be completely surprised.
Yeah, and that's what you said too. You wanted to just come day one of it being open, just plug yourself into it and really get in, and that's all we listened to for 2 weeks.
Yeah, just all the time, the Violet Flame, And I will say this, it's kind of nice. By the way, this is their 16th studio album, which is kind of badass. They've been around since the 80s, man, since before you were born,
I believe it.
It's crazy. He's very young. It was kind of, the more that I listened to the Violet Flame, it was more that I kind of understood that this is a very dancey album, but it's not like over-programmed, The last kind of actual full-length studio album beyond the Christmas album was Tomorrow's World in 2011. I had the good fortune of seeing them live on that tour in St. Louis. And for that record, they got Frank Music to produce it, and I think Frank is really kick-ass, and you should listen to some of his stuff too. I think you would like it. But as a producer, Frank brought a lot of interesting things to the table, but the problem was it was just a little overproduced and a little just generic sounding, a lot of the music, this is a really cool song,
cool.
And I think this is track number 2. It is, let's see here, this is Elevation, very good, very dancey, and that goes back to what I was saying. It's a very dancey album, but not overproduced, and you're not going to get any auto-tone from Andy Bell on this release, which is great. I hated that on Tomorrow's World. It seems like Vince has really gone back to a lot of his classic analog synthesizers. That's really nice since he's one of the grandfathers of synth pop sound. From the 80s. It's nice to see him kind of go back to do that, and I think Andy's vocals. Listen to this. They're just beautiful, you can definitely just feel that music, and his voice it's just a singer's voice, really, and I love that about him, always have. There are 10 tracks on this album. The funny thing for me is track 1 through 4, I think there's a lot of tracks 1 through 4 that you would like a little bit better. They're a little bit more up-tempo songs, like this Elevation. Track number 3 is Reason. For me personally though, I like the second half of the album, which is pretty weird. Usually they put all their kind of the songs that they're more secure in the first tracks, because they want you to kind of just be bombarded right from the get-go.
Huh.
You'll see that with anybody.
Dead of Night is awesome.
Dead of Night.
I think that's really
Dead of
cool.
Night is a very good song, and I can understand why it could be a single. This is Dead of Night again. It's instantly recognizable as Erasure. you know, with the synth waves and just it's very atmospheric, you know, little pieces all over the place. You can just pull down little bits of music for your ear. Yeah, it's a badass dance
and
song.
It's so, I mean, to me, the untrained musical ear, it's kind of modern in the sense of like some of the tones and the notes, but the way he sings is not, which is really, really kind of weird for me to listen to, because it's not my era of music as far as like vocals go, but it works. It's really interesting. So,
well, I think that's kind of the brilliance of Erasure. They can still release music that sounds fresh, but to a fan, it's still going to be nostalgic.
Classic.
Yeah, classic, you know, and that's what's allowed them to last so long. But back to like my thing with the second half of the album. For me, like once you hit like track number 6, this is sacred. And this is a ballad. You know, the older that I get, and I love dance music, I love synth music, but I'm into the ballads from these guys here lately. I think it's just part of my age, you know. And it's so soft, this song is. The first, like, you know, minute, and then it just kind of progresses into a beautiful melody of dance music, you know. And I really like that. So it's just a wave. You know, it ebb and flows and crashes on the rocks, you know, the synth sound does. And I like that, you know. And I used to didn't. I mean, I would have always chosen Dead of Night over Sacred, even like, you know, 5 years ago. But I think too, like, this is part of like living a little bit more, and I'm really listening to lyrics now, and I didn't used to be a lyric guy. I was always just like a rhythm guy. But that's beautiful. I mean, listen to that. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous work by Vince. He's a master. And then also, number 9 is standout for me. This is Paradise. Again, it's another song that starts off really slow, and it has some amazing kind of trills and just Vince Clarke, just nonsense on here. It's almost like a winding of a string. But yeah, it's cool, you know. I mean, it's a great release. It's definitely not in my like top 5 Erasure albums, but I will say this: I enjoy this quite a bit more than the Tomorrow's World album. Let's see here. Richard X is the guy that produced this. I know he's been around for quite a while, and I think the reason they went to Richard is to try to get some of that classic sound back. You know, that they'd lost a little bit with Frank Music as a producer. Being that Frank is so like clean and poppy, you know, and almost like this modern kind of Lady Gaga sound. It's nice to kind of go back to what they're good at, you know. I would definitely recommend this. If you're an Erasure fan, you're going to like this no matter what. And you like it, you know.
Yeah,
You don't have to be a fan of, like, super fan of synth pop music to listen to this.
Yeah,
you know?
and I wasn't, and still am not really, but anytime I hear this, I can't help but really enjoy it. I do. I like it. It's really, really cool. Really interesting.
It's a quality release, and I think Andy is singing as well as he's ever sang. Just beautiful. Also, I'm looking on here too. This release entered the U.S. Billboard 200 at 48, giving Erasure their first top 50 album since 1997, Cowboy. That's really wonderful too. It's nice that some younger people are discovering Erasure again. It seems like Pet Shop Boys, you know, they still get a lot of attention, and everybody gives them kind of their dues. And people sometimes forget about Erasure, you know, as the other kind of main synth pop duo from the 80s. And they're my favorite group of all time, so I'm going to be biased.
What is Depeche Mode? Is Depeche Mode?
Depeche Mode is synth pop, yeah. But it's, you know, there's several people in Depeche Mode. And Depeche Mode have never really waned, you know. They've always been huge, because Depeche Mode is able to always kind of evolve with whatever is popular, you know. And they used to be big stadium acts in their own right, you know, and they could like fill out the Rose Bowl in the early 90s with their release Violator. There was like, you know, 50,000 people or something like that, so they're never going away. And hopefully Erasure never goes away too. Like I said, tracks 1 through 4 are wonderful. If you like the dance heavy stuff. You got Dead of Night, and then Elevation, you know, and then it definitely changes. If I'm going to compare this to any release, you know, in the past, I would definitely compare it to I Say, I Say, I Say. It definitely has that vibe. And I think you've heard some of that record. Always, I want to be with you. Have you heard that?
Most likely. Most likely. We listen to it a lot.
Yeah, we listen to a lot of Erasure. Anyway, guys, it's good to be back making another video. The Violet Flame, 2 thumbs up, right? Yeah, we love it. We love Erasure, and hopefully, if I get time, we'll make some more videos. You know, we're not abandoning this channel. It's cool to have somebody else.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be here. It's been good.
Yeah, dude. Peace out, guys.